people are saying their biggest shocker was the Broncos defense. So let's get into all of this. But we're not going to start with the Broncos. We're going to start with this game. But it's the Dolphins who pull off a historic beatdown of this Denver team. They won. I can't believe this is the score. And I love Russell Wilson, and I love Sean Payton, and I don't know what Vance Joseph is doing. I don't know what the defense. 70-20. What? 70-20, and shattering records in the process. Take a look at this. The 70 points tied them for third most in a single game in NFL history. I can't even say it. It's so crazy. Mike McDaniel chose to take a knee at the end instead of kicking a field goal to tie the record set by the 1940 Bears. About the last time they were interesting. Okay, the 726 yards are the most we've seen in the Super Bowl era and second most all-time, topped only by the 1951 Rams. Their 10 total touchdowns tied the all-time record. And I think what makes it even more incredible is that they did it with a balanced attack, okay? No matter what Mike McDaniel was calling, it was hitting people. Check this out. The Dolphins had 376 of those yards and 5 touchdowns through the air, 350 of them, and the 5 scores on the ground. This is like perfect. This belongs hanging in the Louvre somewhere. Are we joking? It isn't just Tua and Tyreek, guys, and this passing offense being potent. This rushing attack, oh my gosh, Mostert out there just looking dangerous AF. And this was all, by the way, without Mr. 100-catch guy in Jalen Waddle, okay? So I don't know how you can watch this team and not think this is the most exciting, dangerous, badass offense in the NFL right now. And if Tua, who after the game goes, we weren't out there to humiliate anybody, it's just what it looked like. Oof. Tua is like bang, bang, bang. Tua, iconic. At the podium, I live for this. If he's able to stay healthy this year, and it looks like he will, he's going to be in the MVP conversation. I'd be so happy to be wrong about Justin Herbert. Only for one person, only for Tua. Tua, who I said, have yourself a statement game up against Justin Herbert. He did that. He's building out. He's making it happen. And it's not just through the air. It is balanced as can be. And I don't know. The injuries are the only thing that's going to derail the squad. This Dolphins team is going to, and I said this before the season started, if it all breaks right, they will be a legit Super Bowl contender. And we were singing those praises all summer. Who else has a bit of a hangover and a headache today is Sean Payton and Vance Joseph. Let's talk about it. Okay, so the answer can't be it's the NFL, because this is not every day. This is not every day that a beatdown of this proportion goes down. 70 points, 376 passing yards, 350 rushing yards. Where do you want to start?
Dude, I want to start with the Dolphins and how good they are. Their head coach is like a young Andy Reid. He's like a little super genius, he literally rips around, and he his personality is so unique. He, the way they do motions and play calling, and they're always moving guys around, and they look like they're having a fun time, having a good time doing it. And they are truly dominating. If they can stay healthy, they are one of those teams where we might see them in the big game. We might literally see the Dolphins going. That's how good they are. The Broncos, they're not as bad as their record says. They played decent. They played well against the Commanders. Obviously, they had a last-second, mishap against them at the end of the game. The Raiders was a close game as well, but this game was just absolutely abysmal. Sean Payton, a lot of people come at him about all his comments and how he handled, the last coaching staff at the Broncos. It's tough. It's tough kind of right now with all the growing pains, but we all know how good of a head coach he is, and hopefully he can get them rolling. I think what a wild move it was keeping Russell Wilson in that late in the game when it's that bad. And he's your quarterback regardless of how well he's played in the last 2 years. He's making a whole bunch of money, and if he gets hurt, that would have been a horrible, horrible look for that franchise.
What do you do if you're Denver? How can you turn this around? A lot of people calling for Vance Joseph's job because it's a historic loss. A lot of people saying that Coach Sean Payton is overrated when you're saying we know how good of a coach he is. What do you make of that?
Yeah. He's a good coach, and it's not going to it's like he's going to become the head coach, and all of a sudden everything changes. There's a level of getting your culture in, getting, the mindset and what you expect on a week in and week out basis. That's the kind of stuff we're going to have to see that, and only time will tell. Now, Bronco fans, how much time they're going to give him, I don't know. Sean Payton might walk away from this being like, I enjoyed retirement. I'm out of here right after the season ends. If it keeps going this bad, I always feel weird calling for people's heads 3 weeks into the season. Yeah. Let's get halfway. Let's get to the halfway mark. If you start firing people week 3, you're essentially saying we're quitting. Like we were throwing, it's like throwing the white towel. It's just, it's over. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
so
a 50
don't do
point
that yet.
loss is
It's bad, man. That is bad. And 50-point losses, but it's historic. Like it was closest to the most points scored in a game ever. Yeah, it was literally history. Like, if they go and they play the Bears this weekend, correct?
They do. That's a good. Yeah, they play the Bears. That's a good thing.
Two teams that are 0-3. Like, we'll see what's going to happen. I expect the Broncos to win that game.
You can't come off of a 70-point like molly-whopping and then go in and lose to the lowly Bear. You can't do it. You can't do
wild.
it. And I don't know if I don't know that ownership group well enough, but I don't know how patient they are. I don't know.
Yeah. It's tough to see. I mean, if let's say they lose bad again, now here I am saying, hey, you can't fire people in 3 weeks. Maybe we're looking at something a little different, right? Because it's so crazy how it's a week-to-week basis thing. Like the NFL is the most impatient organization ever.
Yeah.
If you win 1 week, you're the best. If you lose the next week, you're probably the worst.
Though, Taylor.
So few games, every game counts. And they're going to have to make a big change being 0-3 right now if they want to expect to do anything and make it to the playoffs.
Would you have been surprised if Staley loses yesterday's game? In my head, I was like, he's getting canned because of some of that stuff. I was really worried. I was like, if they don't win this game, this is going to be tough for him to keep that job.
I don't know.
Really?
It's so I'm just not a fan of firing people this early in the season. I think you need to give some time and let it ride, because when you start making changes up top that early, you lose the locker room. The locker room, the vets know, hey, it's over. They know that the game is not going to, they're not there to win anymore. Now is it, hey, are we fighting for draft picks? Like the whole city's turned against us. You're not going to sell tickets. People are going to pack in and say, see you next year. So I just think you never do that when you're in 3 weeks in the season.
Hey, thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest Up and Adams content right on YouTube.